Hi, this is a review for the Coleman Camping 8-Person Instant Signal Mountain Tent. The claims on this tent are that it's instant and that it only takes one person. Now, I didn't get to that stage, so I did get some help to do it, but I was pretty impressed by how it worked. It is pretty easy to do once you understand what you're doing, which of course I didn't. It took me a minute. So we're going to unzip the bag and take a look inside. So the first thing you want to notice is that it is pretty compact. And so Coleman was smart enough to notice that by the time we refold it, we're not going to be able to get it into this small of a bag. So they make the bag extraordinarily expandable. And I'll show you that too. So inside we have this nicely compacted round thing with some ties on it. And look, there's the non-terrible instructions. They're non-TEAR instructions, but they're kind of TERRIBLE instructions. There's no words, it's all visual, and they're not horrible. There's not a lot to say, I guess, once you figure it out. Maybe at least they think that. So this little this bag here will, on the back of it, has those arrows. See that pointing down? They're going to ask us to tear that whole strip off to double the size of the bag. It's kind of ingenious, and we'll do that later for sure. Okay, now the little bag that was inside is simply the stakes that you can put in the ground when you're doing it on real dirt and not carpet, and also a patch for the tent, and there's some instructions there as well. So there's a repair kit, and we just put it back in. You'll save those for later. Now let's unroll it. So you're basically going to you're just unrolling it, and you unravel it, and there's like this. You'll see parts that need to go back, and so we need to obviously make bigger space. But see that? Okay, and it's very intuitive. So that part, don't worry about. And so we're going to make some space here, and then we'll continue. So as you can see, we're just sort of getting it to where it can't open anymore. And what you just keep pulling back. And what you'll notice is there's a point where there's these little buttons that you see, and there's a red button right there by John's hand. And you'll see more of those all over the place, okay? And the instructions aren't really clear about these, but it took us a minute and we figured it out. So we're going to share that with you in just a minute. So get all those things opened. So you know the place where those red buttons are, there's going to be a pole that extends. And the secret is that you're going to pull it until it snaps, and it'll actually, there's only so far it'll go, and then it'll snap and it'll be tight. Now, we didn't know this at the time. We need to do the ceiling part first. So we're doing the sides, we're putting the legs up first because, I don't know, that's maybe our interpretation of the instructions, but it was a great learning, a great lesson. But I'll show you what happens and why you need to do the ceiling first. Mostly you can't put the legs up first without the ceiling because you can't reach it. It just becomes impossible to stretch out. And it took us about 15 minutes to figure that out. So I'm going to skip it to the part where we did figure it out and show you what happens then. And this is why I think it requires two people to lift this. Okay, so we figured it out. Now we're going to get somebody on the right and somebody on the left. And you're going to see these black plastic parts that are at the top of the tent. See that plaque on the right hand side? You see the black circle thing? I'm going to put my fingers in that, and John's going to put his fingers in the other one, and we're going to pull, and they snap, and we get it, boom, and so it's together now. Now you just get the legs going. So don't put the legs up first. Do not put the legs up first, and you'll be fine. All right? So now we're going to take a quick look inside, but only after we pull down the window so you can see what that looks like. So this is someone on the inside getting fresh air. The zipper's all around. There's two windows on this side. There's one at the head. There's two on the other side. And now I'm ready to walk in the front door. So take the zipper down. Now there is a blue cloth here that will acts as a room divider that I didn't see until after, but that's how big the tent is. Look, I'm walking all the way to the back. I can't touch the ceiling. I barely can get there. And I'm about 5'8". So there's the back window. Oh my gosh, this thing is so roomy and it's really fun. Now I could lay down. I am laying down full with my head to the end horizontal. So there is definitely room for 8. It's a crowded 8, but there's definitely room. And there is a room divider that will go in the middle too. So you could have 4 and 4. I can't imagine. That's a lot of people, right? So it's really comfortable. And this is a 6-foot guy laying down and his head doesn't reach the end. So, and the tent will go out further. You can see where the floor is even up a little bit there because we don't have the room to stretch it out. So you can zip it back up. You have, you'll be staked into the ground, and man, it is just sweet little gig. There is a vent on the very end underneath the window there on the left. You'll see a vent that cannot be zipped or unzipped. It's just to allow fresh air to circulate through. So that's the Coleman tent. I really like it. We're going to take it down and see how easy that is. We might do that one in fast motion so you aren't ready to shoot yourself by the end of this. There's the vent, just so you'll know. All right, we're going to take it down. Okay, so you dismantle it exactly in reverse. Let the legs down, do the ceiling last, or the roof last, and then there's going to be some air pockets, but they'll get out. You can make it a little easier and get rid of some of that air first, but if you don't do it, it's fine. We're just folding in to each other. Now I'm going to go get the bag, and I'm going to have to unzip that white paper off the end of the bag so I can triple the size of it. And so I'll do that here. Just a second. Okay, there's the bag. And you just take it. It's just paper that's sewn on there. It's really not paper, whatever. It's very light. And just tear it off. And you'll see it really opens a lot wider. Look at that. Okay, so that's the room divider, the blue thing. And that was laying in the bag, so we didn't actually see that at first. So now we're going to roll it down. We got it lengthwise, and I'm just going to roll it tight as I can. And there's these little canvas flaps you can see at the end, and that told me, oh, wait a minute, maybe I need to fold it in half first. So I did that, and I had the two meet, and it works. Whatever you need to do to fold it. I mean, I don't think there's a right way to do it, but pay attention when you're unraveling it to what is going on, because that'll make a big difference how you fold it back up. So we've got it ready now that it's going to fit into the bag. And you're just going to wing it. I mean, we have those cords we're going to tie around them into a little bow, and then that might help it not want to pop open, even though I think it's pretty tight. And then it goes right in the bag, and the bag is now bigger. Very thoughtful of Coleman. And wow, it's kind of like my first tent. And it's exactly where I would want to camp for the first time. So we'll get that. I'll be pushing that in there. There it goes. And that's it. So, I mean, if you're looking for a tent, if you're looking for a larger tent, I think this is great. I think it's comfortable for 4 for sure. And I think it's really convenient and compact, and it seems really durable. So I hope that helps you. I had fun showing you. Good luck. Hi, this is a review for the Coleman Camping 8-Person Instant Signal Mountain Tent. The claims on this tent are that it's instant and that it only takes one person. Now, I didn't get to that stage, so I did get some help to do it, but I was pretty impressed by how it worked. It is pretty easy to do once you understand what you're doing, which, of course, I didn't. It took me a minute. So we're going to unzip the bag and take a look inside. So the first thing you want to notice is that it is pretty compact. And so Coleman was smart enough to notice that by the time we refold it, we're not going to be able to get it into this small of a bag, so they make the bag extraordinarily expandable, and I'll show you that too. So inside we have this nicely compacted round thing with some ties on it, and look, there's the non-tearable